Okay, welcome to the concept library. So let's start one by one every single question. And you can see here, question number 1. A short electric dipole has a dipole moment of 16 into 10 to power minus 9 centimeter. Dipole moment P value is directly given. The electric dipole, electric potential due to the dipole at a point at a distance of 0.6 meter. R value is also mentioned here. From the center of dipole situated at a line making an angle of 60 degree with a dipole axis. So we have four options, and this question is directly based on the formula. We can apply V is equal to Kp cos theta by R square, and let's solve this numerical. I will use red color, or which color we should use? Fine, let's use orange. Okay, so this is the formula we are going to use, and okay, change the size of the pen. Okay, done. K value is 9 into 10 to the power 9, fine. P value is mentioned 16 into 10 to the power minus 9 centimeter, and coulometer is the unit. And you can see the angle is given from the axis is 60 degree, and R value is mentioned, V value substitute here, and it was a direct question, and this time they have asked very easy question. So 200 volt we got. Next question, question number 2, you can see here. A series LCR circuit is connected to an AC voltage source. When L is removed from the circuit, the phase difference between current and voltage is pi by 3. If instead C is removed from the circuit, the phase difference is again pi by 3. The power factor of the circuit is, actually this question is again very easy question. One small trick is mentioned, because you see this question you can solve in many ways, right? And cos phi, that is power factor formula, we know that R by Z. Okay, and Z value is Z is known as impedance. You know, in AC circuit we have resistance and impedance. So resistance is only because of resistors, and other than resistor we have capacitors and inductors. So they also offer their own resistances, so they are known as reactances. So the total resistance of the circuit is known as impedance, right? Total in the sense equivalent, or you say resultant. So that resistance is known as the entire resistance offered by all the three equipments, I mean resistor, inductor and capacitor, all together resistance and reactances, they are known as impedance. So impedance symbol is Z. So R means the resistance offered by the resistance divided by the total impedance is cos phi. So cos phi is R by Z. Z value is known as Z value is given as this: R square plus X square minus XL minus XC whole square. This is the formula. So in first case, without L, when we are writing the equation, it will look like cos phi 1 is equal to R by R square plus XC whole square. And here when we are writing, okay, and here when we are writing without L, so XL will not come into the picture, only XC will come. And you can see without C, when we will write the solution, same way cos phi 2. In both cases phi is same. They are saying in both cases phi is same, and that is pi by 3, right? So cos phi 1 and cos phi 2, they are same. So these formulas we can make same, and you see RR will get cancelled, root will get cancelled, then we can take reciprocal and we will getting XC is equal to XL. After getting XC is equal to XL, we know that this is a brand known condition of resonance, right? So we got resonance circuit. So in the case of resonance, Z is equal to R, because XL is equal to XC, so cos phi is equal to 1, right? So we had to get power factor, so power factor is 1. Option 1 is correct. Question number 3. Okay, so guys, questions were very easy, and if you are going to lose your rank or mark, it is only because of if you are committing any mistake, because otherwise questions are very easy. Light of frequency of 1.5 times the threshold frequency. Now this question is based on the this thing, light will fall to the metal and electron will eject from the metal, and this entire situation will happen if the falling light is having at least a minimum frequency, that is known as threshold frequency. If your frequency is below the threshold frequency, that light is not that much enough to break the electron from the nucleus. Okay, so light should have the minimum frequency to, that is called energy, threshold energy, which is dependent on the frequency, because E is equal to h nu. So you should have the minimum energy, or you say minimum frequency, that is threshold frequency. Then only the light will fall to the metal and electron will eject from the metal, right? So this is called as photoelectric effect. So you can see in question number 3, light of frequency is 1.5 times the threshold frequency. Okay, because light frequency is more, means 1.5 is more, right, than threshold frequency, so definitely it will be able to eject the electron. And then they are saying, what will be the photoelectric current if the frequency is half and the intensity is doubled? Now see guys, sorry, what is the trick here? Trick is they are making the frequency half of the threshold. It means what? Light got half frequency of threshold, means it is the minimum than threshold, so it will not eject any electron. So what will be the photoelectric current? Zero photoelectric current, right? So I have written here the solution. The key point to make photoelectric effect, frequency of incident light must be greater than the threshold frequency. It's very clear. So initially that was 1.5 times, but now it just half, so less than the threshold frequency. So there will not be any current. Option 0 is correct. Fourth, question number 4, where it is, yes, 4. You can see what they have asked, dimension of stress. Okay, so I was laughing in the typing because you see what actually I can't say only this year question paper was so easy. Almost every year you will be having some like 1 or 2 questions highly easy based on dimension. What will they ask more than this in dimension from that chapter? Okay, they will ask the unit, dimensional formula. So if you have done previous year question papers, you might have seen like this kind of question will be there every year. Dimension of stress they have asked. So fine, you can see the unit will be, anyway, Newton per meter square is the unit, and you break the Newton as kg meter per second square, and it will shift properly, and ml minus 1 t minus 2 will be your answer. Question number 5. So here in question number 5 they have given an electron is accelerated from the rest through a potential difference V volt. Fine, means you know that electron, if there is electric field varying from one point to other point, definitely there will be potential difference varying from one point to other point, and if you put an electron in the potential difference, these 2 points, you put the electron in potential difference, then definitely it will accelerate, right, because the force will act on the electron. So from mechanics we understand that if there is a force, resultant force acting on any particle, then it will accelerate the particle. F is equal to ma, because force is there, mass is there, acceleration is there, and force will come if the electron is in potential difference field. Fine. So an electron is accelerated from the rest through a potential difference V volt. If the de Broglie wavelength of the electron is given 1.227 into power minus 2 Newton meter, the potential difference is, okay, so see we have direct formula, lambda is equal to 12.27 divided by under root, this V is voltage. Okay, if you apply this formula, you will be getting your answer in terms of angstrom, and that you can finally convert in terms of nanometer, right? Just shift 1 decimal. So you can have lambda with a separate formula, and directly you write, find the answer of V, it is 10 to power 4 volt. Again, it is highly easy question. Go for question number 6, and in question number 6, the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor with air as a medium is 6 microfarad. It means what? You have a parallel plate capacitor, and in that right now you are not using any medium, you are using air. Then that time you have capacity. So if you are using no dielectric, then your capacity is given by C is equal to epsilon naught A by D. But if you have dielectric, then K is the dielectric constant, then your formula will be K epsilon naught A by D. What is the question? Let me read again. So they are saying if there is only air as a medium, then we have 6 microfarad capacity. With the introduction of a dielectric medium, the capacitance becomes 30 microfarad. Means when we are adding the core with some dielectric, that time it is changing to 30 microfarad. And you might be knowing very well, when we introduce the dielectric constant, our capacity increases. That's why it became 30 microfarad. So they are asking the permittivity of the medium. Okay. So directly you go with this concept, C dielectric by C air, means with core and without core. We got K value, and this K is 5. Then you apply this formula, epsilon is equal to K into epsilon naught. K value is 5, just now we got, and remaining epsilon naught value we know very well. Substitute the value and you will be getting 0.44 into 10 to the power minus 10 Coulomb square Newton inverse m minus 2. Correct option. Fine. Go for the next question. Question number 7. So in this question, solid which have negative temperature coefficient of resistance. Now see, some people, they have uploaded their video on YouTube and they are saying no, it is confusing and something blah blah blah. No, it's not like that. See, it's a very clear question. Insulators and semiconductors both show negative temperature coefficient of resistance, right? Both are showing negative temperature coefficient for the resistance, but insulators shows at very high temperature, that we know. When you will make the temperature very high, then only they will show negative temperature coefficient. But they show anyway. It's not like they show positive, right? Because in the question itself, they did not mention like what is our temperature range. It means what? We can catch any temperature range. Means we can definitely think for insulators as well. So because there is no limit given for temperature, we have to choose option B, insulator and semiconductor. If I am giving the NEET exam, definitely this time I will be cracking all the questions very well, right? All the questions. And what about bio? 0. But anyway, I wanted to become an aeronautical engineer and now I am an aeronautical engineer, but I could not, every day I love physics. Okay, go for the next. Question number 8. Okay. Question number 8. For transistor action, which of the following statement is correct? Transistor question is highly easy. Again, you see, I have designed here, no need to read even the options. So the question is based on design of transistor. Okay, like how does it look like? So we have NPN or PNP, anyone, does not matter, but in both we have the size parameters, right? We have emitter, then we have base, and we have collector. Base is the very thin region and emitter is the middle one, and collector has largest region. Why? Because it has to collect the electrons or the majority carriers coming from emitter, right? So collector has to collect, that's why the size of collector is the largest one. Anyway, in the options they had given both emitter junction and collector junction are forward biased. No. The base region must be thin and lightly doped. Yes, this is designed, I mean this question is based on the design parameter. So when we teach transistor, there we teach this, and some more statements we teach there. So anyway, base region used to be very thin as compared to emitter and collector, and lightly doped. And remaining options are just useless options, because second option is already we can catch easily. Go for the next question, number 9. Okay, again very easy question. A screw gauge has least count of 0.01 mm and there are 50 divisions in its circular scale. The pitch of the screw gauge they are asking. Directly go for the formula. Pitch is equal to least count into number of divisions, right? We got it 0.5 mm. So first option is correct. Go for question number 10. Guys, if you will see, like I created this solution on 14th September. You can see here on 14th September itself I have created all the solutions, but I could not find time to upload them. I'm very sorry. Already I know that you guys have gone to other channels and you can have get the proper feedback about the paper, but anyway, because I'm running my channel, so I must upload the videos. You can see the date in the solution. You can see 14 September 2020 at 11:15 a.m. in the morning itself I have made this. Okay, question number 10. The phase difference between displacement and acceleration of a particle in simple harmonic motion is very easy question. Always 180 degree. Acceleration, and this is acceleration, this is displacement. Direct formula. Minus sign says direction is opposite. If this is the direction of acceleration, this is the direction of displacement. Next question. Actually, I am making a video series for GATE aerospace engineering students. That's why I could not find time to upload these videos. Okay. I am also working on my website, making videos, making mock papers, making previous year solutions, and meanwhile I can't leave the physics for NEET and IIT. So that's why I got this early morning time and I'm making the video now. A long solenoid of 50 centimeter length having 100 turns carries a current 2.5 ampere. Can't say how easy this question is. The magnetic field at center of solenoid is given. They are asking. Mu naught value is mentioned here. Okay, so B value you can find out by using mu naught Ni by L. Correct? Don't be confused with N there. And we use two types of n. One is capital N, which gives us the total number of turns in the solenoid, and one is a small n. A small n gives turns per meter, I mean for the unit length. So I have written the complete formula n by L. So this n by L you can replace by small n also, does not matter, all the lengths, everything is mentioned. So substitute mu naught value here, capital N value here, because the total number of turns are mentioned. Substitute the total length here, substitute the current here, and find out your B value. Done. You can also use this thing. Go for the next question, number 12. A ball is thrown vertically downward with a velocity of 20 meter per second. You know, in entire physics, mechanics is my favorite. Anyway, I don't say that other things are not important or favorite, but mechanics, like, because when I started learning physics, that was the mechanics where I started getting grip on the physics. A ball is thrown vertically downward with a velocity of 20 meter per second from the top of a tower. It hits the ground after some time with a velocity of 80 meter per second. The height of the tower is actually when you will drop the ball, that time your initial velocity is 0, that is u is equal to 0. But right now we are throwing the ball vertically downward with some initial velocity, that time u is not 0, so that u value is mentioned here. Directly apply the third equation, v square is equal to u square plus 2gh. Sometimes you will think like, sir, plus sign or minus sign. So see, you are throwing the ball, so speed is keep on increasing, right? That's why you have to use plus sign, means your final speed must be greater than the initial speed, right? That's why you will be using plus sign. Everything is mentioned here. Find the h value. You got 300 meter. Go for the next question. Question number 13. Okay, if you guys want any kind of help in physics, you can text me on Instagram, Facebook, or I will mention my phone number down and you can give me a WhatsApp. Okay. The color code of resistance is given below, and you can learn these things in Hindi also. It's not like only English. If you are from the Hindi background, I speak Hindi. हमको हिंदी आती है, अच्छे से आती है. I'm from UP. So you can also learn these things in Hindi. If you have any doubt in any topic, definitely I will charge some fees. Or you can purchase my video course from my website, which is under progress, and mock papers also, previous year solution also, everything. You can talk to me for that. Next, the color code of resistance is given below. The value of resistance and tolerance respectively are. Again, highly easy question because the resistance itself is mentioned. So B.B. Roy, Great Britain, very good wife. This is very easy trick. So all the colors I have, color coding I have given, you can take the screenshot, and this will give you the first digit, this will give you the second digit, and this will give you the multipliers. And for gold we use 5%, and for silver we use 10% tolerance. This is easy. Okay, so you can see 4, 7, 10 to power 1 plus minus 5%. So okay, which option is correct? Option B is correct, because 470 ohm is the answer and 5% is the tolerance. Go for the next. 14. Actually, this question paper is highly easy than other question papers. The what level we used to practice, the way I taught my students for this year preparation, and this question came very easy. The Brewster angle IB for an interface should be, again it is easy question. You see, we have 4 options. So trick, what is the trick? When light travels from air to any other optically dense medium, guys, don't be confused with denser and optically denser. Okay, I'm not talking about this question. I'm saying simply there are some examples, they can be dense by mass, but they are not optically dense. Fine. So in optics chapter, whatever we talk, denser and rarer, they are based on optical, right? Optically denser and optically rare mediums. Fine. So when light travels from air to any other optically denser medium, your mu will be greater than 1, correct? Definitely for the next one, mu will be greater than 1. Air you will consider as 1, and other than air it will be more than 1. So your tan IB value has to be greater than 1. Fine. Because from this formula, if this mu is greater than 1, it means tan IB is greater than 1, and if tan IB is greater than 1, it means this IB value has to be greater than 45, because tan value increases from 0 to 90, correct? So in between at 45 it gets 1. So tan 0 is 0, tan 45 is 1, and tan 90 is infinite. So it is continuously increasing, but definitely less than 90 degree, because at 90 it is infinite, which is fine. So your IB will be definitely between 45 to 90 degree. Easy question. Go for the next question, number 15. Easy question. A ray is incident at an angle I on a surface. Guys, actually you see the dates, 14 September 2020. I made all these solutions, but I could not upload. I'm feeling very guilty that I could not upload on time. It's fine. A ray is incident at an angle I on a surface of a small angle prism with angle of prism A and emerges normally to the opposite surface. If the refractive index of the material is mu, then the angle of incidence is nearly equal to. 4 options were given, and you can see here, this is our first surface and this is our second surface. On first surface it will fall. This red color is the normal, and this yellow color is the falling ray. It will fall with some angle I1 and it will go with R1, right? Then it will go to the next surface. So here you can see the next surface, the light is coming like this. It is going normally straight. It is not tilting from the second surface. It means what? There is no angle between normal and the ray at the second surface. So I2 and R2, they both are 0, 0. Apply Snell's law on the face 1. Then you can see 1 sine I1 is equal to mu sine R2. And then you substitute sine I1 is equal to mu sine A, because when your angle is very, very small, you can write like this. A is equal to R1 plus R2, and your R2 is almost 0, then A is equal to R1. That's why this R1, sorry, this is R1 actually. That's why this R1 I am substituting as sine A. Then for a small a, you remember like this. In mathematics, we learn that if sine theta by theta, limit theta tends to 0. If your theta is very small, then sine theta by theta gives you 1, right? It means what? This theta you can send this side. So for very small value of theta, means theta tends to 0, your sine theta will be equal to theta. This theta, if you send this side, you will get sine theta is equal to theta. Means what? You have this equation sine I1 is equal to mu sine A. That's why apply the same formula. This sine I1 you can write I1, and sine A you can write as A. So that's why you got I1 is equal to mu into A. So that is your first option. Go for question number 16. Quickly we'll finish this. So you are watching my solution not to know the answers. Some extra points I will be giving in the solution. That's why you should watch every single question. It's not like you know the answer, so you should not watch the solution, because there can be some questions where I am saying something special which can be really helpful for you guys. Two cylinders A and B are equal capacity are connected to each other via stop cock. You can see here. Contains an ideal gas at STP. What is the time now? Time is 6:41 AM. I think I'll finish this in half an hour, and then I'll upload around 7:30 something. Okay. B is completely evacuated. The entire system is thermally insulated. Stopcock is suddenly open. The process is, guys, very good question. See how. You can see the green dots. They are gases here, and they are filled in chamber A. And here we have stopper, and this part is vacuum. I mean, B is totally vacuum. So you have to remove the stopper. So point 1, because of expansion, your volume is increasing, so it can so it cannot be isochoric process. And now because of expansion, P is decreasing, so it means pressure is also not constant. So volume and pressure, they both are not constant, so it cannot be isobaric and it cannot be isochoric as well. Next point. Point 3, while expansion, at every moment of new state, you'll be having a new state, matlab volume is increasing, V1, V2, V3 keep on increasing, V1, V2, V3 dot. So at the same time, pressure is also being decreasing, P2, P1, P2, P3, P3. So at every moment we have different states. So we can, so see, while expansion, at every moment of new state, we can find out temperature by using P1 V1 is equal to nRT1. So we can find out T1 in same way at the next stage. P2 V2 is equal to nRT2. So we can find out T2. So we have T1, T2, T3, correct? It means temperature, we can see that temperature is also being changed. So we we can't be sure about product of P1 V1, like P1 V1 they are constant or not, correct? Because maybe multiplication of P1 and V1 can be constant, we can't be sure about this. So that's why we can't be sure that temperature is constant or not. Now next question, next point, isothermal container. They have mentioned here, container is isothermal. You understand the meaning of isothermal? Heat can't come inside and heat cannot go outside. So means for sure there is no exchange of heat energy. Because there is no exchange of heat energy, so we can say for very sure it is adiabatic process. Correct? So the fourth option is correct. Go for the question number 17. For which of the following Bohr's model is not valid? So Bohr model is not valid for which of the following? Okay, so valid for hydrogen and hydrogen-like atoms. This we know that Bohr model is valid only for hydrogen or hydrogen-like atoms. It is not valid for very, very heavy atoms, right? So, but neon is heavier than other options. So that's why it is not valid. Even it is also valid after first ionization, because you can have some atom which is very, very close to the hydrogen, but because of first ionization it will be similar to hydrogen. So Bohr model is also valid for that those kind of atoms. It is not valid here in case of deuteron. It is not for neon. It is not valid for neon. Second option is correct. Go for next. Question number 18. Okay, two bodies of mass 4 kg and 6 kg are tied to the ends of massless string. So guys, this string and this string, they are massless. Here we have 4 kg and here we have 6 kg. They are asking acceleration. So this is 6 kg. So it will turn like this, correct? And find out acceleration. Direct formula m, del m by sum m. So del m means change in mass and sum m means summation of mass. So 6 minus 4 is 2 and 6 plus 4 is 10. So 2 by 10. So this is the gravity, means g by 5 is your answer for the acceleration. Next, question number 19 here. In certain region of a space with a volume 0.2 meter square, the electric potential found to be 5 volt. Magnitude of electric field in this region is, again very easy question, because see, 5 volt is given throughout. Like when you are changing place 5 5 5 5 5 5, it means what? You don't have change in potential from point to point. Okay, if you don't have change in potential, it means it is equipotential surface, equipotential region. So in equipotential region you can't have electric field, because when there is electric field from this point to that point, it means definitely your potential will change from point to point. But because there is no change in potential, so there is no electric field. So by mathematics also you can see E is equal to minus dV by dr, because your dV, del V is 0, because you have V, so del V will be 0, right? 5 5 5 5, so del 5 is 0, sorry, del V is 0, so your E value is 0. Go for question number 20 here. Energy equivalent of 0.5 gram of substance is, 0.5 gram substance is given. If you want to convert the entire matter into energy, which formula is very popular? E is equal to mc square. So m is given, c value we know, substitute everything, you will be getting E is equal to 4.5 into 10 to the power 13 joule. But before using this formula, make sure all the units must be in SI, because answer is given in SI. Okay. So 21. Again very easy. Mean free path for a gas with molecular diameter d and number of density n can be expressed as, this was the direct formula, 1 by root 2 n pi d square. These are free mean, they are free marks, so you should not do mistake here. Question number 22. You know guys, I am also a student, because see, I am also a teacher, I am also a student, I am writing a GATE exam. You know, when you want to do masters from IITs, you have to write GATE exam. I have only bachelor degree in aerospace engineering. Now I want to do masters in aerospace engineering. So you have to write GATE exam, and I have taken GATE exam 6 times, and again I have applied 7th time, because I am not getting seat in IIT Madras, and because I am staying in Chennai. So I want seat in IIT Madras to do my masters. So again I have applied for GATE exam. So I think I will be the only person writing GATE exam 7th time this year, probably. Okay, question 22, and it's not like I'm being fail, I'm being passed with good rank. Only thing is I'm not getting seat in IIT Madras. A wire of length L, area of cross section A is hanging from a fixed support. The length of the wire changes to L. When the mass M is suspended to its free end, the expression for Young's modulus is. Guys, E is equal to stress by strain, correct? So stress you can find by F by A, matlab load, or you say force by A. So force is nothing but its weight only, because suppose this is the Apple pencil and if you hang here some weight, it will come down, right? Or because of its own weight also it will come down, the length will change, correct? So the length of the wire changes from L1, the mass M is suspended to its free end. So you can see the diagram here. Earlier the length was something, when you attach the mass here, its length will change by this much. So change in length you can say L1 minus L, correct? L1 was the L1 is the new length and L is the original length. So change L1 minus L means this is the increment. So sorry, find out stress F by A, find out strain, change in dimension by the original dimension. We got the strain. So find out Young's modulus, stress by strain. It will look like this, and take the answer. Next, question number 23. Quickly we have to finish this. A spherical conductor of radius 10 cm has a charge of 3.2 into 10 to the power minus 7 coulomb distributed uniformly. What is the magnitude of the electric field at a distance of 15 cm for the center of sphere? Center of the sphere. Very easy question. See, direct formula you apply. E is equal to kq by r square. K is 9 10 to the power 9. Q value is mentioned 3.2 10 to the power minus 7. R value is mentioned here. Make sure everything should be in SI unit. Don't do mistake. And you got 1.28 10 to the power 5. Question number 24 now. The energy required to break one bond in DNA is given. The value of EV is nearly. Very easy. 1 EV, we know that 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 joule. Actually, it is nothing but the electronic charge, right? So for 1 joule, send the complete answer down. So you'll be having 1 by this much electron volt. Done. So for this much joule, multiply both sides 10 to the power minus 21 minus 21. It is just an arrangement. The question was very easy. So you got this much, and adjust properly, you got 0.006, and option B was correct. You can see option B here. Go for question number, did I miss question number 25? Question number 25 is here. For the logic circuit shown, the truth table is very easy. You see, if here you have A, then once you will cross this, you will be having A bar. Here you have B, then this outputs will be B bar. So now A bar and B bar, they are coming together. So just here they will be A bar plus B bar. Okay, but here because of NOT gate, you will be having complete bar. That's all. Apply De Morgan theorem. So the main bar you can break in two parts, like this, and the plus sign will convert into sign. That's all. So you can again write AB. AB means which gate? AND gate. So you can take the option for AND gate. Now question 26. In Young double slit experiment, if the separation between coherent sources is halved and the distance of the screen from coherent source is doubled, then the fringe width becomes. So direct formula, fringe width is lambda d by d, where capital D is the distance of the screen from the source and small d is gap between the sources S1 S2. So capital D they are doubling and small d they are doing half. So you can see here, so it will be 4 times. So new fringe width will be 4 times. Go for next question. 27. Capillary tube of radius r is immersed in water and water rises in it to a height h. The mass of water in the capillary is 5 gram. Another capillary tube of radius 2r is immersed in the water. The mass of the water that will rise in the tube will be. Now see, this question is very easy. Direct formula you use, h is equal to 2s cos theta by rho g r. Okay, now here you can see h is proportional to r. Okay, now you see mass is proportional to volume. Done. Volume formula is this. You can see pi r square is the area and 2h will be volume, so you can see mass is proportional to volume. Now mass is proportional to pi r square into 1 by r, because h is also proportional to 1 by r, right? So we are trying to find this r, as r will get cancelled, so your mass is actually proportional to r directly. So finally m is proportional to r directly, so if r doubles, mass doubles. Simple. So it will be 10 gram, earlier it was 5 gram. Question number 28. A cylinder contains hydrogen gas. Battery is 10%. A cylinder contains hydrogen gas at a pressure of 249 kilopascal and temperature 27 degrees Celsius. Its density will be, use direct formula, P is equal to rho RT, and you will be getting rho value is this. Here I have shown the proof, that is not important. Simply P is equal to rho RT you apply, you get the rho value 0.1. 29. Again very easy question. An iron rod of susceptibility 599 is subjected to a magnetic field of 1200 ampere per meter. The permittivity of material of the rod is, use direct formula, permeability mu is equal to mu naught into mu r. Everything is mentioned, but before that you have to apply this formula to find out relative permeability, which is susceptibility plus 1. That formula. So 599 is susceptibility, so it will be 600 will be your relative permeability. Then mu naught value substitute as 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7, and mu r is given as 600. Just now we got, not given, just now we got. So multiply 24 pi 10 to the power minus 7. Go for the next question number 30. Okay, again easy. Find the torque about the origin when the force is 3j act on a particle whose position vector is 2k. Very easy. So tau is equal to r cross f. Don't think tau is equal to f cross r, because in hurry burry you may do mistake. Tau is equal to r cross f or f cross r. Okay, so tau is the torque, r cross f, they both are vector quantity and they are mentioned in the vector quantity. So 2k into 3j, you will be getting minus 6i. You will be remembering this concept, right? ijk concept, ijk. So when you will do k cross j, you will be getting minus i, anti-clockwise. If you are doing clockwise, then you will be getting plus, right? Next, '31. Average thermal energy of a monoatomic gas. Don't you think this is just for the 4 marks? They are, actually this paper is affected by corona. This paper is seriously affected by corona. They have asked such a questions like, oh my god, guys, can you believe at what level you guys were preparing and at what level the question is? So 3/2 kBT, K is Boltzmann constant. Now question number 32. Assume that light wavelength lambda is given 600 Newton meter is coming from a star. The limit of resolution of a telescope whose objective has a diameter of 2 meter is. Very easy question. Resolving power, we know that d by 1.22 lambda, and limit of resolution is opposite of that, I mean reciprocal of that, 1 by resolving power. So it will be 1.22 lambda by d. Substitute all the values properly in SI unit and get the answer in radian. 3.60 10 to the power minus 7 radian. Question number 33. The ratio of contributions made by the electric field and magnetic field components to the intensity of an electromagnetic wave is very easy. There were huge chance students will do mistake. Chances of mistake is if you have done E by B is equal to C. This is your mistake. Contribution of E in electromagnetic wave is how much? U average into C. U average is how much? I mean total it comes how much? Half epsilon naught E square. In same way, contribution of B in electromagnetic wave is how much? U average into C. So you can see guys, these two are same, correct? These two are same. If you write your formula in terms of E and B, then you can have these two formulas. half b naught square by mu naught. But anyway, if you divide them, it will come same. So find the ratio, because they are same. This guy u average c, this guy u average c, so 1:1. Correct? 1:1 is the right answer. Go for 34. 34 over 35 now. Quantities of heat required to raise the temperature of the two solid copper spheres of radii r1 and r2, and given r1 is 1.5 times r2 through 1 K R in the ratio. How much temperature change? 1 Kelvin. And r1 is equal to, so easy. So see, this is the formula for the heat, correct? Q1 is equal to m1 s1 delta T1. Means we are changing the temperature by del T amount for the mass m1 with specific heat s1, and that amount of heat is q1. So you can see q1 is proportional to m1, m1 is proportional to volume, and volume is proportional to the radius of the sphere, correct? 4/3 pi r cube. In same way, you can see again q2 is m2 s2 delta T2. So now again your mass is q is proportional to m is proportional to volume, which is again proportional to radius, cube of the radius. So q1 by q2 is equal to the ratio of this r1 by r2 whole cube. Substitute the values here, because r1 is given in terms of r2, 3/2 r2, correct? 1.5 r2. So substitute here, you got 27/8. Now question number 36, where it is. Okay, again good question. A resistance of wire is connected in the left gap of meter bridge balances a 10 ohm resistance in the right gap at a point which divides the bridge wire in the ratio, which divides the bridge, it's not a device, it's divides the bridge wire in the ratio 3:2. If the length of the resistance wire is 1.5 meter, then the length of 1 ohm resistance wire is. So see guys, we know that r1 by r2 is 3/2 properly mentioned, and this by this r by 10 will be 3/2, so r is equal to 15. So 15 ohm resistance has 1.5 meter length, so 1 ohm resistance will be 1.5 by 15. So this is simple mathematics, 0.1 meter. So now we go for 37. Oh, the increase in the width of the depletion region in PN junction diode is due to, guys, we have, you know, PN junction we have, and here the width of PN junction will increase or decrease based on what? Your diode is in forward bias or it is in reverse bias. In forward bias, depletion region decreases and electrons are able to jump easily and current will flow. In reverse bias, depletion region width will increase and it will be difficult to the electrons to jump. That's why current does not flow. So it is in reverse bias. Now question number 38. A 40 microfarad capacitor is connected to 200 volt and 50 hertz supply. The RMS value of the current in the circuit. Very good question. Now keep in mind, if they have not mentioned properly, means what? They are asking the RMS value of current. RMS value of current you can find out by, see, apply Ohm's law. V is equal to IR. So if you will use VRMS, then you will use I as IRMS. So VRMS is equal to IRMS into R. If you want to find out IRMS, so VRMS by R will be IRMS. Now question is, do you know VRMS? Some students will think what value has given 200 volt, that is the peak value, and they will divide that peak value by √2. Correct? And they will find the RMS value. No, if they have not mentioned that it is peak value, it means what? Then it is RMS value directly. So the 40 microfarad capacitor is connected to a 200 volt 50 hertz supply. The RMS value of the current is, so directly Z value you have to find out. I mean the resistance you have to find out. So that is means reactance you have to find out. So Z value is nothing but XC, because that is, sorry, because the resistance is offered by the capacitor, that is reactance. Capacitive reactance XC, XC will be 1 by omega C. Omega value you have to find out. Omega value you can find out by using 2 pi F. F is 50 hertz and this C is capacitor, value of capacitor. So you find out IRMS value. So you got it as here I have mentioned that 200 volt is your RMS value, and here I have mentioned the frequency, and then IRMS will be this much. Substitute everything properly. V is equal to IR and divide by this r is nothing but z, so you'll be getting 2.5 ampere. I think I have done I have written here wrongly. No, it's not wrong. This omega c will go up, this omega c will go up, so it will be like this, omega c Vrms. Done. Go for the next question. Now we'll be seeing question number 39, and let's see question number 39, where it is 39. Oh, I think I have missed 39. Okay, go for 40. Taking into account the significant figures, what is the value of 9.99 minus z minus 0.0099 meter? Again, very easy question. See guys, very simple. In addition and subtraction, we take the minimum value, correct? Two numbers, significant figure will be the minimum of the both. Means you check, two numbers are given to add or subtract, like 0.99 and 0.099. So answer must be D with two significant figures, because one was 2 and one was 4. 9.99 has only 2 decimal places, and 0.0099 they have 4 decimal places. So your answer will follow the less one, means this one. And that's all. You know, no need to even solve, just you check in which option you have 2. So this option D. Go for 41. I think 41 should be there. Yes, it is there. In a guitar, two materials A and B made of same material are slightly out of tune and produces beats of frequency 6 Hz. When the tension in B is slightly decreased, the beat frequency increases 7 Hz to 7 Hz. Earlier it was 6 Hz, but when we are decreasing, it is increasing by and being 7 Hz. So if the frequency of A is 530 Hz, the original frequency of B will be. Question is, there is a guitar, I mean 2 guitars are there. In one guitar we are using the strings of material A, in one material B. They both are same material, only name is changed, A and B. Now for the frequency for the A is mentioned, but for the frequency for the B we have to find out, and condition is earlier they had a beat frequency of 6. Now we are decreasing the length of B, then the beat frequency is coming 7. So we have to find out the original frequency of B. So you can see frequency of A minus frequency of B, that is only beat frequency when we subtract. So that is in the beginning, equation 1, that was 6. Or you can say FB minus FA will be 6. We are not sure right about the frequency of B. Frequency of B in the beginning can be more than A or can be less than A. So only two situations are possible. So either FA minus FB is 6 or FB minus FA is 6. So that's why I have taken into account both. Now as we know that frequency is proportional to under root tension. So if you decrease the tension, frequency will decrease. So beat frequency must increase. Correct? Okay, because here they have told us the beat frequency is increasing. Beat frequency is increasing. So you try to understand. We have A and B. We are decreasing the tension in B. Correct? So frequency of B is decreasing, and if frequency of B is decreasing, then second equation is not giving us the idea. First equation is only giving us the idea that, try to understand this way, 5 minus 3, and you have if you decrease the 3 to 2, so earlier difference was 2, now difference will be 3. Correct? You see, this is what the beat frequency in same way it is increasing. So FA minus FB you will choose as 6, and when FB will decrease by some amount, then FA minus that new will be 7. Correct? So FA value is given, substitute FA value is there, and you find out the original frequency. We have to only select that FB minus FA is the right formula or FA minus FB is the right formula. Okay, so that we can understand by basic IQ question. So you substitute here, and you will be getting FB as 5 to 4. Go for the next question, 42. We are about to finish this. Question number 39 I have missed here. 42. Two particles of mass 5 kg and 10 kg respectively are attached to the two ends of rigid rod of length 1 meter with negligible mass. The center of mass of the system from 5 kg particle is nearly at a distance. Highly easy question, guys. See, what is the formula? If you have m1 mass here and rod here, m2 mass here, and suppose here you have center of mass, how do you find this distance? How do you find this distance? If you want to find out this distance, x is equal to, you write m2 into the total distance divided by m1 plus m2. And if you want to find out this distance, suppose y, then you write y is equal to m1 into total distance divided by m1 plus m2. That's all done. Correct? So we have used this and we have got 67 centimeter from the left side, from the 5. Go for 43. 43. Okay. The light of an average flux of 20 watt per centimeter square falls on a non-reflecting surface at normal incidence having surface area 20 centimeter square. The energy received the surface during the time span of 1 minute is. Easy question. Intensity we have to find out, correct? Sorry, intensity is given as 20 watt per centimeter square. So see, watt is the unit of power, centimeter is the unit of area. Most of the questions I used to crack in this way only. So this is power by area, correct? And power is nothing but energy by time. Area you leave here. Okay. So now you connect these two. So 20 watt per centimeter square into, you can see the area here, into you can see the time here. So it will be equal to energy. When you will send this time into area or multiply with the intensity, you will be getting this as the answer. You got E as this much, 24 into 10 to the power 3 joule. And then we can go for question number 44. That's all. The one more question is remaining. When a uranium isotope 235 uranium 92 is bombarded with a neutron, it generates, you can see, when a uranium isotope that is 235 U92 is generate 89 krypton 36, 3 neutrons, and what more? Means you have uranium and you are bombarding the uranium by 1 neutron, then you are getting this and what more. So you can just do this by balancing masses and by balancing atomic numbers. So guys, you can see here atomic number is 92, here it is 0, here it is 36. So 92 plus 0 must be equal to 36 plus 0 plus some number is here. Okay, suppose this is some unknown number is a, here is x, here is y. So your x value you find out like this, and then y value you find out how? 235 plus 1 should be equal to 89 plus 3 into 1 plus y. Means you add 235 plus 1 you got here, and you add 89 and 3 times 1 and y. So you got this equation. You find out y from here. Got the answer. You got x value. How are you getting x? Add 92 and 0 together, then add 36 and 0 and x together. Got it? Simple. Then we go for the last question, 45, and this 45 question. A charged particle having drift velocity of this much in an electric field of this much has mobility in SI unit. Very easy question. Mobility has direct formula. Drift velocity by electric field. Substitute everything properly and solve them. 2.5 10 to the power 6 meter square volt inverse second inverse. That's all guys. 45 questions over. And you go to my website conceptlibrary.in and you will purchase previous year mock papers. They are actually under process. Once they will be ready, I'll update here. And previous year question papers you can practice online. Previous year question papers, not the mock paper. Mock paper again I will make separately. So in very cheap cost, only in 99 rupees, all the previous year question papers will be online. You will practice them every day for 3 hours and it is highly helpful. Thank you so much.